Welcome back, everybody. My name is Sandy Boucher, and once again, I'm your MC for the Continuity of Care 7 Youth Inquest 2022. And now we're about to hear from AJ Hoppe, Tammy Petriquin, and Caitlin Ahern, who are here to present on behalf of Northern Anishinaabe Education Council, or NNEC for short. AJ is the Special Projects Inquest Coordinator for NNEC and has played a key role in helping to organize and implement a number of programs and services to ensure that NNEC students are safe and comfortable while they're out for school. In the wake of the inquest, AJ has been central in implementing NNEC's 25 recommendations, as well as working with partners at the local, regional, and national level to make important changes to First Nations education, healthcare, as well as legal and social systems. AJ is also a co-founder of the Wake the Giant movement in Thunder Bay, which aims to help students and their communities feel safe and welcome when they come to the city, while also aiming to teach the community more about First Nations history, culture, and values. Tammy is the Student Wellbeing Coordinator at Dennis Franklin Cromarty High School in Thunder Bay, Ontario. Tammy holds an Addictions and Community Services Worker Diploma. As a professional member of the school health and wellness team, Tammy has gained years of experience in the delivery of case management, screenings, assessments, care plans, and triaging referrals. She shares a strong foundation for capacity building in collaboration with community partners to provide a culturally sensitive wraparound model of care. Tammy appreciates being a part of the DFC's high school community and believes in role modeling a healthy, balanced lifestyle and is committed to supporting the students in their pursuit of an education. And Caitlin currently works as the school nurse within Dennis Franklin Cromarty High School. Her role as the school nurse is to provide culturally competent care to our Indigenous youth, while also promoting and protecting student health and optimal development. She was born and raised in Thunder Bay, where she attended Hammersholt High School and Lakehead University, where she obtained her nursing degree. Help me to welcome the team from NNEC, and I have no idea who's speaking first, but I guess it's AJ. So there we go, and there's Tammy, and there's Caitlin. Take it away, guys.
Good morning, everyone. What an honor it is to be with everyone here today. My name is Tammy, and on behalf of my co-presenters, AJ and Caitlin, we would like to recognize that we are virtually presenting today from the lands of the First Nation of Fort William. Chi-miigwech to everybody that's provided this wonderful opportunity for us to share information regarding to our students. Miigwech, Sandy, and the tech team for all your support that you've been providing to everyone. And I would also like to acknowledge the youth panel from yesterday. I got to see a little bit of that, and their bravery and courage, sharing their stories and their experiences didn't go unnoticed. We hear you, we're proud of you. Stay true to who you are and keep doing great things. I would now like to pass it over to my co-presenter, AJ. Thank you.
AJ, you're on.
Got on mute. Yeah. It's not like we're new to this. I can't believe I dropped the ball there. In any case, Minuke Shabaya, good morning. Anine Wache. My name is AJ Hoppe. Thank you for the very vibrant introduction there, Sandy. I want to echo what Tammy said. And also want to acknowledge our elder, Lucy Kakagamic, and everyone that's been involved with this event, including Amanda Manella for pulling all this together. It's, we're so busy working on so many moving parts with this inquest and the recommendations, and a lot of the working groups that have come from those proceedings that we don't really have a lot of time to highlight all the great work that's been done because we're so busy doing it. So I think this is a really excellent opportunity to take a look at some of the successes we've had as an organization. And that's mainly what we're going to highlight today is, most of our successes. We're going to keep it positive. We're going to talk a little bit about the challenges, obviously, that have come due to the pandemic. And then we're going to look at, the theme of a big part of the theme of this forum, which is, what we're looking to do moving forward. So, Kichimi Gwech, thanks so much for having us. And I'm going to pass it off to Caitlin.
Hi, everyone. I just want to say thank you for having us for this forum. I'm looking forward to it and I'm super excited. And yeah, I haven't been at DFC like too long, but I'm enjoying, the work that I've been taking part in so far. So again, I just want to say thank you to everyone. Thank you to everybody that kind of developed this forum. So.
Awesome. So without further ado, we're going to jump into our presentation here. I'm going to share my screen and hopefully everything goes smoothly. All right. Can everyone see the presentation clearly?
We can see it.
All right. And I don't have my mute button on. That's also good. Okay. So NNEC, continuity of care, supporting our students on their journey. So we're going to start with a video, actually. So I can fire it up here. I do apologize if things are choppy. We're going to be sending the links along later if you want to watch the videos on your own time, but here goes nothing.
Brand Lucas, Sandy Lake
It has been
First
nearly
Nation.
6 months since an inquest into the deaths of
Hundreds of
First Nations
children
students
from
at Thunder Bay.
Ontario's remote First Nations communities are forced to leave.
AJ, can you please unmute?
AJ, you have to unmute so we can hear your computer.
Sorry, what was that?
You have to stay unmuted so we can hear the,
My bad. I was worried there was going to be like an echo.
no.
Let's try this again.
Family and home to pursue what the rest of the country takes for granted, a high school education.
Dennis Franklin from RT's student living center. I think it was an absolute that the federal government and the municipality should be honoring.
Just a boy there. North Spear Lake First Nation. Joe K. Huron First Nation.
In the last decade in Thunder Bay, 7 have been returned to their families in confidence.
In the past 2 years, I lived in 13 houses.
Takes me an hour and 15 minutes to get to
I've lived in 6 different boarding houses that were like permanent residents, but 13 were the open offices.
The report called After the Healing highlights the successes of Dennis Franklin's work.
I take 3 buses to get to school every day. A lot of them are homes.
What can we do to properly serve those students who have to go to larger cities?
Just a boy there.
fantastic.
Close the funding gap. Design, fund, and build Dennis Franklin from RT, the Student Living Center. It's anywhere from 25 to 30% below the funding for the provincial schools. So I think there's a growing consensus. We need to invest more in schools, particularly those that offer. Good luck, everybody. Yo, what's up, baby? This is Red Food. Keep a shout to DFC. I just want to shout out to DFC School because you guys are the best, man.
Calm down.
Wajie kita naguna ma ni na what DFC schooling. Kama to kam siknepe.
All right, so that video is a little lengthy, but it is a really good kind of, and I hope that the quality was okay, but it's a really good kind of idea or showcase of a lot of the awesome programs we run at the school. There was an acknowledgement at the end for a student that we've lost. So, you know, it's just a stark reminder that as good as we make our programming, we still have a lot of work to do and we still are faced with a lot of challenges. So, all right, back to the presentation here. I'm just gonna try and move this around here. Perfect. So long before our students choose to come out to one of our schools, we do our best to make it to each of our communities to connect with students, their parents, and their communities about the options and programming that will be available to them if they choose to leave their communities for school. Obviously, that's when there's not a pandemic raging, but we are really looking forward to getting back to traveling to community. It's so important to try and forge those bonds, especially it's a lot different if parents live in town, they can come and visit the school, get to know the teachers, etc. It's a lot harder to craft those relationships, obviously, when with that distance. So we try and do all we can to get up north as frequently as possible. So as noted here, aside from our frequent visits, we also head up north, both DFC and Pelican, on our winter road trip. There's a big old convoy. Personally, it's my favorite trip of the year. You really get to know students and other staff really well, more on the journey than the destination. It's like a, you know, anywhere between a 10 and a 15-hour drive. So you know each other inside and out by the time you get there. It's a ton of fun. And this is a chance for students to show staff around the communities, the places where they grew up, you know, where they lost their first tooth, or, you know, they went to their first dance, those kind of things, right? So it brings everybody closer together, these trips. As I mentioned, it helps us create stronger bonds with communities, parents, elders. And when we go up there, we usually do things like broom ball or play hockey, go ice fishing, engage in traditional activities, and also take the time to present to the grade 7, 8s, and anyone else that's interested in hearing about the type of programming that NNEC runs. Now, one key position that helps to coordinate this effort is our transition coordinators, and they play a central role in developing these relationships with kids and their families before they leave home. And this is a position that has been funded through the Ministry of Education since the inquest, and it's played a really key part in helping kids feel a little safer, a little more familiar when they come out. They know they have someone to talk to. They know they have someone in their corner. Obviously, all of NNEC staff are at our students' disposal, but kids can be shy, and as I would be if I had to leave home as young as 13 and live in a strange new place. So it's, long story short, it's good for the kids to have a familiar face they know they can trust, and it really does help with the transition process. This includes, as we'll get into when I talk about orientation, things like riding the bus, or places in town to maybe stay away from after dark, or where services are available. Yeah, it puts kids at ease. So I think I have some pictures. We have some pictures here. So this is a dream team. I got Tammy here, who's one of my colleagues that we're co-presenting with today. Tanya, who does intake. I'm working left to right in case you can't see my mouse. Aaron Guthrie, who's our gym teacher. He's built a basketball program from scratch at DFC. It's been incredible to watch. Matthew Tilbury is our transition coordinator. That's who I was talking about. We do have another transition coordinator we just hired on. I'll talk about him later. So yeah, Matt does a ton of work. He's up north all the time trying to create those bonds. There's me with a little less hair growing off of my face there. Sylvia Davis, she was a teacher at Pelican Falls First Nations High School. Dylan Harp, he runs First Nations student support program at Pelican. And we have a couple of our former students here, Destiny and Gloria. Those are two kids I'll never forget. They're very vibrant and hilarious. And this was one of those journeys I'm talking about where we ended up in Sandy Lake for the day. I should note that for the most part today, this isn't an NNEC presentation, but we are going to focus mostly on Dance-Ranking and Cromarty, because that is where we have been successful thus far with building this wraparound care model that we're looking towards. And I'll talk a little bit later about how we want to try and duplicate that program at Pelican. Here's us on a winter road trip. Again, we're having a lot of fun here. I don't know what Matt's doing back there, but he's goofing around. Yeah, we have such an all-star team. It's, for the most part, I forget I get paid every 2 weeks. Like, it's just a pleasure to come in and support the kids, and trips like this are so fun. So yeah, in terms of connecting with community, here's some more stuff we're doing at the community level when we go up there. This is again from a winter road trip to Sandy Lake. On the left here, we have the whole Crow family. Quite a few folks there. Awesome to get to know everyone. We've probably had 4 or 5 of the Crows come through Dennis Franklin, and I don't think we're done yet. So we've got a few more. As you can see here, Greg's holding a couple future students in his arms. I'm sure they'll be heading out to DFC at some point, or Pelican. So yeah, just what an incredible opportunity to really get to know families on more of a personal level. Here we have Matt again. I'm telling you, he's an all-star. He's playing broom ball here. That was a great day. And yeah, again, connecting with families, such a big part of us going up north. So here we have Sharon with a young one, and we have a couple more of our students, probably with a baby sister here. So just incredible to get to the community and miss it so much, and just can't wait to get back up there. I think Tammy is going to speak a little bit about what we do for student orientation. So that the last part there, just to clarify or recap, is what we're doing before kids come out to try and start building those bonds. And then now we're going to get into talking about what we're doing when the kids get off the plane and they show up at school.
Hello again, everyone. So every year we have returning and new students that come out with us, and each semester with those current and new students that are returning, we work with the students about just the variety of services and programs at DFC. Part of the orientation with the students is the health and safety piece of it. All the students attend the orientation session, which is a great time actually for them all kind of to get to see their other peers and just reconnect with their friends. So that provides great opportunity for that, since it's usually within the first couple days of school. We review things like the safety protocols, policies, student code of conduct. We also talk to students about the use of the city transit, risks related to substance use, safe places around the city that they're welcomed in. We also stress the importance of following the rules, at the school and their boarding homes. And we encourage the use of a buddy system, especially while they're venturing out around the city, checking things out. We review the various programs and supports that are available in the school, and such as the after-school program, recreation program, the OnCall service. We really encourage them to, join a sport or a club, like the art club, because there's lots of opportunities for them. They can be a peer mentor, they can sit on student council. And then usually after orientation, students register, of course, for their course selections. And then they meet individually with Caitlin and myself, so we can kind of assess any health and mental health concerns they might have, along with doing kind of a quick health check with them. So at this time, I'd like to pass it back to AJ. Thank you.
Thanks, Tammy. I just got to plug my computer in here quickly. Apologies. All right, another rookie move there. You can tell it's been a while since we've done a presentation. Got her all hooked up there. Okay, moving onward. So Tammy talked a lot about student orientation, running through code of conduct, getting students connected with her wraparound care team, other services. Another part of orientation, it's grown to be a 3-day orientation, is the amazing race. So here's a picture of our team in the Amazing Race one year. And the purpose of the Amazing Race is it's kind of like the TV show where you're kind of, rather than racing around the world, you're racing around the city. Students are put in random groups with a couple of teachers. So everyone has a chance to kind of, get to know new people. It's not like to try and mitigate like clickiness and help everyone get to know each other. And then you work as a team to pick everyone's sent to like a different starting location, and you work as a team to figure out which location. You have to make it to a certain amount of locations. So you kind of come up with a strategy and figure out as a team which locations you're going to hit, which challenges you're going to do. And these different locations are more or less different services, programs, amenities, and like recreational opportunities throughout the city. So it's a really awesome chance, like I said, for kids to get to know new people, to get to know their teachers, to get to a better feel for the programs and services available to them in the city, as well as familiarizing them with the bus route. In case anyone is not aware, we don't have our own school bus. So kids get their own city bus pass and they are expected to make it to and from school every day. I mean, we'll talk about a little bit in the future plans. You know, we're hoping to have a school in residence at some point, but for the time being, that is the program that we run. So it is very important that kids are familiar and comfortable with the city transit system. Here we have a picture of one of our students, or I think he was a grade 7-8 student at the time, and Thunder Bay's own Coleman Hell, who was actually a good friend of mine. And we were very excited to have him at our very first Wake the Giant Music Festival. And the second day of our orientation, so we have Amazing Race on day one. The second day is what's called the DFC Experience. So students have from up north, generally grade 7-8 kids, have an opportunity to come to our school and check out the different programs that we have available, be it like our First Nations trade school, like welding and auto, or, you know, some of our sports programs. We have a really cool after school art program I'll talk about later. We have music programs. So this was Coleman Held doing like a music workshop with some of our kids. And as you can see here, there's a lot of smiles and a lot of laughs that day. And pursuant to InQuest recommendation number 43, this is an opportunity for kids in grade 7 and 8 to have a chance to get a feel for what it's like being away from home in Thunder Bay, what the city's like, and what school programming is like at Dennis Franklin Community High School. Lastly, it's pretty new, but we got Wake the Giant Music Festival. For those of you that aren't aware, as noted earlier by Sandy, Wake the Giant is a social movement which aims to help students and their communities feel more welcome when they come to Thunder Bay. That originally started as a DECO program, working with local businesses to put up a sticker to show that they have done their cultural awareness training and that students and their families can feel safe shopping there, using the telephone, asking to use the washroom, and shopping without someone like looking over their shoulder. We're excited to be launching an online training very soon. So keep your eyes peeled for that. It is much more comprehensive than the kind of cultural awareness training that we currently have. And yeah, very exciting things on the horizon there. And then that's kind of grown into, we were like, how do we celebrate that? We're so fortunate to have so many awesome personalities, be it music, entertainment, acting, politicians. We have so many people wanting to visit the school, wanting to help. Originally, the idea was to kind of rally to try and spread awareness about our need for a school in residence, but we are pretty far along the road with the federal government in terms through a feasibility study to try and make that happen. So the festival kind of shifted to just celebrating the partnerships we have in the community and also spreading awareness about First Nations culture, history, and values. And yeah, just trying to get more allies and also elevating Indigenous artists. So at least 50% of every Wake the Giant Music Festival lineup are Indigenous artists. So that's pretty exciting. The first year as well, July Talk came and made a song with our students. It's called Morning Keeps Coming Back. It's about how coming to Thunder Bay is kind of like and education is kind of like a step towards a brighter future for a lot of kids and some of the challenges they go through. So they co-wrote this with July Talk from Toronto. They're kind of a big deal. They're a really good band. And check it out on iTunes. Morning Keeps Coming Back. And that's spelled as if you're mourning something. and all the royalties go to the kids. So if you download it for $1 or whatever, kids will be getting the royalties for that. So yeah, we have a few students on the left here. And we got Nathan Meekus shredding up a storm on the right. These kids are incredible. It was there was a lot of dust in the air that day. My eyes were watering pretty good when these kids were up there. I felt like a proud dad.
Mhm.
It was an exciting day. It was very electric.
Mm.
And obviously we couldn't have our first Wake the Giant Music Festival without the King of the North. We had Ernest Munius there, so that was pretty incredible as well. I always tell the story, when you're a professional artist, you do what's called sound check. So there's the metrics there at 9 a.m. to do their sound check for an hour, or July Talk's there at 10 to do their sound check for an hour. Ernest and the boys show up, they're hanging out, cool as a cucumber. And we're like, do you need to do a sound check? They're like, no, we won't bother. And then they get up there, and I remember Ernest just looked over and he's like, hit it. And they just nailed it. Like I as a musician, I was blown away. Like they were just so tight and so professional. Ernest put on an awesome show. It was electric. And yeah, a big part of our like I said, a big part of our festivals is really sharing more about the culture. Here we have some of our students from this past Wake the Giant Music Festival. They did some jingle dress dancing, which to the best of my knowledge is a healing dance. And it's really what we're trying to do is bring this community together through this movement. We know it's not a silver bullet and it's not going to happen overnight, and there's a lot of work to be done, but I think we're off to a pretty good start. So I'm going to show you a little recap video. Sandy, how are we doing for time?
Had to find my mute button. It's 12:18, so we're still good, just under a half an hour.
Cool, awesome. So this is a little recap video from our first festival.
In the face of the national spotlight on Thunder Bay for a negative rating.
Wake the Giant.
Did you know
It's not a pose of mini horse.
must be fireproof with all the hell that we've been through? When all I loving, life gets tough. Learn to make a shelter out in the storm. Yeah, made it out. Oh, it's cold. Now when I stepped on burning coals. Someone left the light on, out in the dark. I wonder how be yours, you'll be mine. We'll be fine tonight. There's spark, catching fire, feeling getting hotter. How be yours, you'll be mine. We'll be fine.
In Thunder Bay, we can show the world what community is about. This is what community is about. What we're doing here tonight, we are walking together.
You and me must be fireproof with all these flames between our sheets. When all I love is almost gone. Made some in the moonlight before the dawn. Yeah, made it out. Good heat. Crossed the desert and we sailed the 7 seas. When all I love is felt so long. Found out all the hard times just made us strong. You and I, we both been through it, and I wonder how be us, you'll be mine. We'll be fireproof tonight. There's a spark, catching fire, feeling getting hotter. How be us, you'll be mine. We'll be fireproof.
You guys really are setting the example for communities and cities across this country, and really to represent our brother and the work he started, fair and understanding for all people. That's what we're going to want it. That's what we're going to want it for sure. But I tell you something. We got some work to do, but I feel like there's a movement. I feel like something's taking place. I can see it here today.
You and I, we've all been through it, and I wonder how the odds will be mine. Will we fireproof tonight? There's a spark catching fire, feeling getting hotter. Happy odds will be mine. Will we fireproof?
So that was pretty high octane. It was a lot of fun. Like I said, it was a magical day. Every year it's very special. So if you haven't been, I highly encourage you to come on out. It's a full day worth of music and awesome stuff. Here we have Harmony Fiddler from Sandy Lake First Nation. She's putting up one of our first decals at Sweet North Bakery. It's one of our businesses. One of the long-term goals we have through Wake the Giant is to get kids part-time jobs while they're in high school. And Sweet North is one of the first businesses that has expressed some interest in having some of our students work down at their bakery. So it's exciting stuff. Obviously, when kids are working, when they're part of a local business, they're getting to know new people. They're feeling like they're more part of the community. So this is all about building community and offering new opportunities to our kids. All right, Tammy, I think you're going to take the reins here for a moment, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. So
Awesome.
Thank you, AJ. The Student Support Services program has 3 dedicated prime workers, Shar, Saturn, Lyle, who directly support students coming out from the remote First Nation communities. They also attend not just DFC, but also provincial schools. And then we have 2 dedicated urban prime workers that directly support the students living here in Thunder Bay along with their families. Prime workers are usually the main connection between the student, their families. They play a key role in the daily care of the students. And they're usually the first person a student goes to when they're facing a challenge or struggle. They're responsible for every area of their student, which involves doing intakes with them, the registration process, making referrals, facilitating appointments for any health or mental health, whatever that looks like. They facilitate recommendations for any programming and activities that the students would benefit from. They collaborate with other areas of the school, such as our clinic team, our enhanced services team, teachers, administration, and basically all together we kind of provide that culturally supportive kind of case management, where we discuss student concerns and we come up with solutions to kind of support their safety, academic success, and their health and well-being. They also assist students in many other areas of care, such as personal items, healthy diversion activities, incentives, clothing, and food needs. I'm going to go into talking about our boarding home coordinator, Sandra. She's another important support for the students and their families. She collaborates with the prime workers, families, and students in identifying the needs and requirements that a student or family might have when they're looking for a boarding home. she also provides that ongoing support once boarding home is secured, not just the financial support, but she does home visits. She tries to match a student to a boarding home that reflects who they are. And another thing in regards to boarding homes is that some of the boarding homes that are selected to board students, they too may have kind of requirements where maybe they're looking for a new student to the high school, or possibly a student that's well on their way, and they're, you know, a potential grad even. Other than that, I know she works very diligently, and you know, even when it comes to trying to find boarding homes, she's working hard towards creating advertisements, doing things around culture that, you know, those advertisements are sometimes even done by students or elder, just to find homes that are going to be safe and supportive for our students. Miigwech, and pass it on to you, AJ. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Tammy. Yeah, hit the nail on the head there. Obviously, leaving everything you know behind and going to a strange place is challenging enough, and then you have to, you know, a lot of the times live with a stranger. So we do our best to make sure that the people that are receiving our kids and taking care of our kids are the best of the best. And you know, when kids are not feeling like it's the best fit for them, they talk with Sandra, and she makes sure to put them in another boarding home where it is a better fit. So so important. And yeah, in terms of continuity of care, when like Tammy said with the prime workers, like the second that kids step foot out of that plane, NNEC assumes guardianship for them, unless they're, you know, taken care of by a tribal council. But it's the same thing for whether it's a tribal council or it's NNEC. The second that kids step off the plane, they are under our care. So that's when that continuity starts. And yeah, the prime workers are the first folks that work with our kids. They know what their needs are the best, and they're there to counsel them and support them, and, you know, they're there to laugh and to cry with them, and you know, just make sure that the kids are very well taken care of. They're very in tune with what the kids' needs are. So Triple SP is a crucial part of our programming.
AJ?
And then
I just wanted to add, you know, when I think about the boarding home parents, they're so involved with the support of the students. You know, they participate doing many things. They attend grads, they attend, you know, they're involved with their academics when it comes to how well they're doing in school, you know, so they're actually really involved and supportive with our students. They're, you know, it's like we had said, it's important to make sure that fit is right with the student, right? And I think all of our boarding home parents that we have are really wonderful and engaging with our students. So I just wanted to add that. Thank you.
Definitely.
And sorry, I have to step away and grab my cord or my computer, please.
I know the feeling. So yeah, another crucial part of Triple SP, another like extension of that program, is our on-call program. There's 2 units out every night when we have normal school year, in-person learning, and our boarding home coordinator and our prime workers, they're calling around every night at 10 p.m. That's the students' curfew for the most part, for NNEC anyway. And if kids aren't home, then that's when on-call kind of one of their functions is that they're going to go out looking for students. The last thing we want to do is have like a student that's not accounted for. So we're on top of it right away if the kids aren't home. A lot of the times they're at their you know, their friend's house, their boyfriend or girlfriend's house. It's not a big deal. But what we've seen, obviously, especially through the inquest, like, you know, when a student is not accounted for, you need to be on top of it right away. Time is always of the essence. So we take you know, we take that kind of thing very seriously. And then the other function of on-call is, you know, if students miss the bus, if they're in a compromising spot, but they're not, like, if they're feeling like they're in a dangerous place or something, or pretty much you know, that's why it's called on-call. They're on call. That's what they're there for. They're there to support the kids, make sure the kids get home safe. So one thing we did find, though, in terms of growing our program, and this is a position that's been funded through Choose Life as of late, is we needed student well-being workers. We only have 2 on-call teams for, you know, I'm not sure. I think in regular school years, about 150 kids. With that being said, you know, KO, I think, has some of their own on-call services, Shibogama, etc. But the fact of the matter is, there's only so many on-call units to go around to pick up kids. And sometimes students are facing, you know, mental health challenges, suicidal ideation, or they hurt themselves, they need to go to the hospital. Kids need extra support sometimes, whether that's someone to sit with them and console them, or that's someone to sit with them at the hospital while they wait to be seen by a doctor. That is the function of the student well-being worker, as well as to check in with them, like, you know, do daily check-ins when they can. Obviously, that looks a lot different when we're doing remote learning, but yeah, the reason it was initially implemented is because we don't want say there's 2 on-call teams and one is called to sit with a student at the hospital, then we only have 1 on-call team. So a ride that would take half an hour for a student might take an hour now, and maybe they're in a place they don't feel comfortable, and so the challenges just kind of keep compounding. So rather than taking an on-call team off the road, we just have a full-time person that's there in case of emergency to sit and work with our kids and make sure that they're supported. Another extension of our SSSP program is Wokagin, which to my knowledge translates to home in Ojibwe. And this is pursuant to recommendation number 114 from the inquest. We've worked with a lot of different partners: Matawa, KO, the city of Thunder Bay, Northwest Lynn, police, the hospital, the list goes on and on and on. And the thrust of this working group was to have a safe, sober site for students to go to if they were intoxicated. A lot of the tragic deaths that were subject to the inquest were due to overconsumption of alcohol and the feeling of not having a safe place to go afterwards. So, you know, we're not condoning or encouraging kids to drink, but it is a safe place if they are intoxicated, where rather than SSSP trying to bring them to the hospital or them ending up at the police station or, you know, worse, especially in the winter, it's somewhere where kids can go to sober up and to get some rest, eat something, you know, watch a movie. And I know it sounds real great, like sounds like a great time. It's not meant to be. You know, the next day is obviously students are going to be facing repercussions for their actions, and more importantly than anything, we want to figure out, especially if students are there more than once, you know, what is the cause of this this behavior? You know, are students trying to drink to numb the pain of homesickness or depression, or is there something else going on? So the big picture is the short term is we want to make sure kids are safe, and then the big picture item, I think, is figuring out how to get students in touch with services that they need to kind of feel, you know, emotionally, spiritually, mentally on the right path again. So yeah, it helps indicate if students are maybe having some problems, and it helps us put them in touch with the proper services. So we're going to show you, speaking of advertisements, we're going to show you a little boarding home video that we put together, and that'll be the last video for today. And we have Elder John, who's making a comeback this year. he's orating on this one, and I gotta say I'm very excited to see him again soon.
Home is where children find safety and security, where citizenship starts, where we find our identities. It usually starts with believing you're part of a community, and that is essential to having a stable home. A dream doesn't become reality through magic. It takes sweat, determination, and hard work. Be strong, be fearless, and believe that anything is possible when you have the right people there to support you.
So definitely a heartwarming video. Another opportunity for us to showcase some of our programming there. And yeah, John hits the nail on the head. I mean, what we're really trying to do at our school is build community and have students feel like they're part of something. I know we all talk as staff very often, and students say it as well. We feel like a big family. We're all very close. I'll get to the teacher's role in all this shortly, but yeah, it's so much more than 8:30 to 4:30. You know, we're there for kids around the clock, and we're happy to be. We just want to make sure they're safe and comfortable when they come home for school. Ladies, the one you want to spearhead this one?
Sure. So we'll just talk about a little bit of the wraparound care and kind of how that developed. So these quotes were taken from our nurse practitioner, May Cat. So initially, the health and wellness team comprised of an RN and a physician 1 day a week. And then eventually it became a registered nurse and a nurse practitioner for the ongoing care of the students. The focus at that time were the students that were coming in from northern communities, but it was quickly realized that the urban students, or the students living in town, didn't actually have the same access to dental care, eye care, primary care, and mental health services. We do focus on trauma-informed care, and a large portion of our students do suffer from depression and anxiety, usually related to PTSD, that has either gone partially treated or untreated altogether. The health team has expanded over time to include an RN, so myself, an NP, May Cat, the adolescent psychiatrist, Dr. Chai, and the clinical psychologist, Dr. Feldstein. We promote the continuity of care by including the additional members within the student circle of care, such as the prime workers that were discussed previously, elders, tribal counselors, and the teachers. And continuity of care needs to have the involvement of everyone in order to ensure student success in the school.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Caitlin.
No problem.
So Tammy, do you want to talk a little bit about your position?
Yep. So as Caitlin had mentioned, for the longest time, there was just a nurse and nurse practitioner working with the clinic and the students. I was approached to provide support to students at the time. There was just the nurse and nurse practitioner, and they had started a pilot project providing treatment for opiate addiction to some of our youth within the school. So my role at that time with the youth was providing that support and kind of group education. Then I started working more with the team in developing other areas of their program. They soon realized how complex mental health was really at the forefront of a lot of the students. And I think this was more after the kind of the opiate kind of crisis going on in their home communities. And So with the team had then had a Master of Social Work, I believe, 1 day a week, 2 days a week in the school. And then with funding, we were able to get, we were able to capacity build and kind of partner up with First Place Clinic, I think then, who students were connected to actually Dr. Chang at that then. And that's how we first accessed Dr. Chang. We also connected with, partnered with Kelly Mental Health, where Dr. Julia Feldstein was able to see some of our students. She's a clinical psychologist, so she's able to work with students at, you know, those complex areas of trauma, anxiety, depression. She provides specialized assessments, testing, you know, for IEPs or mental health diagnosis. And then with their added support, you know, I think their added support was very vital to the team. The enhanced services really supported our services that we had at the school. So having them on with us was, like I said, crucial. We also, in time, had join us 2 Masters of Social Work that are coming in when we're in person. You know, they're there anywhere from 3 to 4 days a week on top of the care from Dr. Chang, who works with students struggling with psychosis. She provides kind of that crisis support, and she gives guidance. She consults on any concerns we have around students. So they're very valuable to us. And even though they're not part of our clinic team, you know, there's lots of other supports through the education partners that we collaborate with and within the community to, like Caitlin said, provide that kind of wraparound model of care that, you know, with that informed care kind of practice. Yeah, I'll pass it on to Caitlin. Thank you.
Thanks, Tammy. So like we had mentioned, I'm the school nurse. So the school nurse does have a crucial role in providing comprehensive health services to the youth of the NNEC community. In my role, the nurse promotes and protects student health. We facilitate optimal student development and aid in the advancement of student success with the use of the collaboration of both the in-house team members, like Tammy had mentioned, and community partnerships as well. School nurses do bridge both healthcare and education. We provide care coordination, advocate for quality student-centered care, and collaborate to design systems that allow both individuals and communities to develop to their full potential. The nurse does take part in active collaboration among various partners, like we have previously mentioned, promote student and family capacity for adaptation, self-management, self-advocacy, and learning. In my role, I do address, you know, major health concerns that are experienced by the youth within our community. I'm responsible for providing, you know, first aid, health assessments, preventative and screening services. We develop care plans with both chronic and acute health conditions, communicate with teachers and staff to ensure the safety and well-being of the students, you know, administer medications that need to be administered if they can't be administered at home. And we also coordinate vision and dental care and provide education to the students and both teachers and staff on various health topics. Our clinic on a daily basis could see anywhere between 15 and 20 students on a given day for different reasons. And in my role is providing me the unique opportunity to foster and maintain rapport with the students and the staff. And it's these rapport that have allowed for early intervention, treatment, identification of health trends, and the learning about and accessing various community partners. And then Also, like we had mentioned before, we do have a nurse practitioner named NACAT. So she acts as our clinical lead for the health and wellness team. Her role within our school community is to assess, diagnose, treat, and monitor a wide range of health concerns with the students using an evidence-based approach to her practice. She will consult and collaborate with other healthcare and mental health professionals to meet the needs of the student population. And she also builds and maintains relationships not only with the students, but also community partners such as myself, Tammy, the rest of the health and wellness team, psychologists, psychiatrists, and other outside resources. So that's just a little information about my role and the nurse practitioner's role. And I will pass it back to AJ, I do believe.
Okay, AJ, I just wanted to bring it to your attention. We're actually past time now. So is there more slides or
Yeah,
can we wrap it up?
let's zip through here. Thank you so much for the rundown of our wraparound care. It's very crucial to our program at DFC. Here's the beautiful ladies that many of the ladies here that contribute to that wraparound care model. So that's the just in closing, that is very much our Western approach to supporting our students. We also have a traditional approach. So we give students different options. It's not one size fits all. We do have a more traditional approach to supporting student well-being. We have a full-blown elders program. We have an elders room where students are going for guidance and support and fresh tea and bannock a few times a day. We have they do classroom visits. There's land-based learning. There's knowledge keepers. If anyone wants any more information on this, it's a cornerstone of our programming. It's so important to have, you know, a Shomas and a Gookum there for our students because, you know, they leave their families back home. Here's some pictures of our elders. So they're always trying to share traditional knowledge where they can. They usually have a smile on, as you can see in the bottom right here. Here's the kids out on the land. I guess we're over time here. So just if anyone's interested in checking out the rest of our slideshow, we have a lot of other support staff that have been very crucial to supporting our kids, including our teachers. We have a staff versus students game here. John and Megan goofing around. Brandon as the Hulk. That was a challenge we did last week. So we're still keeping things light, even though we're doing virtual programming. Last week's theme was green. We have Mike Busnick here, who's on staff. He used to be a professional hockey player, and he's also our full-time comedian now. We have after-school programs. Anyway, like I said, I know we're over time, so we want to duplicate the services that we've discussed today at Pelican. We're on our way, but it's a little tougher to get the services that they need out at Pelican due to the remote location of Sioux Lookout. But we are working our hardest with our funders to duplicate programming to support kids out there as well.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. Now, if people have questions, how easy is it to reach out to the team or to talk to you guys? Or would you be the contact person to reach out to, I guess is the question.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. We're cutting into lunch hour now and we only have a half an hour lunch. So I really thank you so much, guys. That was a ton of information. DFC has always worked really hard for the students. I know Cecilia Fiddler made a comment that just she's got DFC in her heart and totally supports you guys. So keep up the great work. It's important work, right? Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sandy. Thank you for everything. Megavich.
Awesome. Okay, for the participants watching, we got a play to win code coming up here. One of those words you're going to want to write down to win stuff. So here it is. There's your play to win code. Write that down. We are going to be going into a lunch break. You want to be back at 1:15 because that's when our comedian comes on. So you're definitely going to want to check that out. The other thing is, I mentioned earlier under the event survey tab, that's where the evaluation would be. And that's so essential that we hear from you and what you thought of the event so we can use it to plan other events. It's in there now, or it should be in there now. So feel free if you get a chance, but make sure to get up and move around and get some water and get some food into you, because it is lunch and we care about your well-being too. We will see you back here at 1:15. Take care.